All right, cybercrime rising sharply. Recently, hackers attacked a global meat processor and a U.S. gas pipeline, both blamed on groups in Russia. And ransomware was a major point of discussion for President Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin during their first in-person summit yesterday.
Just a few hours ago, cybersecurity experts from USC held a workshop to educate people around the world on how to protect and defend against cyber attacks. Here to discuss it is Clayton Powell, Executive Director of Election Cybersecurity Initiative at USC. Fight on. Welcome.
Evening. Thanks for having me.
Let's begin with what the conference was like today. You've met with leaders, important Washington power players from around the country. What was your main point?
The main point is that our adversaries are active. They are increasing their efforts. They are attacking infrastructure of all kinds. Millions of people couldn't fill up their gas tanks. I was wondering if I had enough gas to get to appointments during the crisis. They're attacking hospitals. Both the USC and UCLA hospital centers have been attacked. Nice little emergency room you have there. Hope nothing happens to it. So this is very, very serious, and it's a growing threat.
And did this threat grow even more during the pandemic?
Absolutely. We saw new techniques being used by our adversaries, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, on election night. Not very well known, but we discussed it in some length in our workshops. On election night, the Associated Press was attacked with what AP President Gary Pruitt called thousands of withering, sophisticated attacks unlike anything they'd ever seen. He said it was the worst night of my life. The AP almost went down. Now, why would they attack the Associated Press? Because, as you know, but probably most of your viewers don't, if the Associated Press goes down on election night, there are no election returns. That's where we get our election results. And so, as Gary Pruitt put it, imagine people all over the world subscribe to the AP, not just television and newspapers in the US. So you're sitting in London, or you're sitting in Tokyo, or you're sitting in Moscow, and people say, oh, we're sorry, there are no results from the American election today. Just how would we look?
Yeah, and all the chaos that would come from that, and then people wouldn't have trust or credibility in the election itself. You know, elections is something that you all at USC have been focused on. Even though you're Southern California based, you've met with leaders in all 50 states. You spent the entire year doing that and talking to people in every single state in the union. What did you tell them? What's the most important piece of advice for them in trying to keep elections safe?
Well, the most important thing that we did last year, and you're correct, we went to all 50 states. We did 7 in person, and then we had to go to virtual because of the pandemic. But in each case, in each state, we had Democrats and Republicans sitting next to each other, the state party chairs, the Secretary of State, maybe one party, there might be a congressman or a senator who's another party. And what we saw over and over again is how bipartisan this issue is. In fact, our slogan is, our candidate is democracy. That's what we want to see win. So the things that we stressed in our workshops and continue to stress are the basics. Good passwords, second factor authentication. We discovered in Senate testimony last week that one reason the Colonial Pipeline hack succeeded is because Colonial Pipeline didn't have second factor authentication.
Wow.
What does that mean? It's when you log into your bank account or even your email, and your bank or your email provider sends you a text to your cell phone, or maybe they'll send you a code of some kind. Colonial didn't have that. And so once the hackers were able to get through that first line of defense, there was no check on them. So we tell everybody, this is something that you have to do.
Yeah, the average person as well. And that brings me to, if you click on a link, we're getting all sorts of bogus texts these days, emails. If you click on a link, is there anything that you can do after the fact, or is it just too late?
If it's a bad link, it's gone. I mean, that's why we have to be vigilant all the time. We had a couple of people today. One is the Democratic Party chair in Hawaii, and another was Jane Harman, former congresswoman from LA, who said that the bad actors are looking for just the smallest opening. The way that one state police officer put it, who we work with, he said, "Do you leave your front door open at night?" "Oh, well then, why are you careless about your passwords and about clicking on links?"
Same sort of thing. And you think about John Podesta, who helped run the Clinton campaign. The reason that all his emails were leaked all over the place was because he didn't have two-step authentication, which everybody should have on their Gmail or whatever they use.
Absolutely.
Can't believe that about Colonial Pipeline. One of the major gas
that's
suppliers
shocking.
in the whole country didn't have it, which is crazy to think about. Adam Clayton Powell, thank you for the work that you do. For more information, you can go to electionsecurity.usc.edu. A lot of great resources there to help keep you safe. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Powell.
When we come
Thank you.
back.